Welcome back to another one of my videos. As always, I find these stories that I read to you from different subreddits on the Reddit website. And I always leave a link in the description. So that way, instead of watching gameplay through the video, you can read along if you would like to. That said, let's get into the video. Me and my friends are using a Ouija board for the first time. It keeps asking people to leave the room. I'm using this post to chronicle the events of this evening, as they have been truly fascinating. Some quick backstory. The small section of the city that me and my friends live is generally known to be haunted. And even if you're not a believer in the supernatural, it's at least a bit eerie. I'm not going to dox myself by stating the location, but let's just say that creepy sightings and murders/deaths due to unexplainable circumstance are our bread and butter. For most people, this means you move away as soon as you can. For folks like me and my friends, who absolutely love all things spine-chilling, it generally makes for a pretty good time. Our Halloween parties are awesome, most of our drinking nights have some sort of spooky game interlaced into them, and if you have literally nothing to do on a Friday night with your friends, you can always go on a tour of some of our haunted locales. Graveyards, abandoned buildings, creepy forests, you name it. So, with that background established, let's cut back to tonight. Me and my closest 3 pals decided to try our hand at using a Ouija board. Were we going to be normal and try the Ouija board in one of our family attics? Nah, too basic. We instead decided to trek up together to, what I shit you not, is an abandoned treehouse left in an elevated section of our city, surrounded by forests. What could go wrong, right? We climbed up to the treehouse, set down a spooky themed rug, lit some candles, and brought out the Ouija board. Despite my pretty extensive resume of dealing with all things creepy, I'd never actually tried a Ouija board before, so I was really excited to see what would happen. We went into this excited to break every rule in the book. We weren't going to do a seance, we were going to ask whatever we want. We didn't need to worry about being respectful to the spirit, etc. We figured if something interesting were to happen, it'd be more likely if we went in as carefree as possible. We sat in a circle around the Ouija board and got started, asking the simple question, is there a spirit with us? With all of our hands placed on the planchette. No real response. We fluttered the planchette in a few different directions, but we could tell we were kind of forcing it. We asked a few other questions. What is your name? When did you die? Etc., but nothing really came of it. After trying for the next half hour and not really getting anything in the form of a response, we decided that we probably didn't have any spooky luck tonight, and opted instead to share scary stories in the treehouse. We left the Ouija board out just in case we'd get luckier later in the night. Amidst a break in our storytelling, where everyone was grabbing drinks and snacks from their bags, I decided to give the Ouija board another quick go. I placed my hand on the planchette alone and whispered the following question. Will you please grace us with your presence tonight? Surprisingly, the planchette started moving. It's hard to explain, but you kind of know when something is moving on its own, versus you sort of subtly and subconsciously moving it with your hand to force an answer. This felt real. A tingle went up my spine. It was cool as hell. My hand was moved to the following letters. Y-E-S. Awesome. I looked over to the group and told them that the Ouija board was working again. Excitedly, we all huddled around and placed our hands on the planchette. I followed up with another question. Where are you from? We sat there excitedly waiting for something. Instead, nothing. The planchette was still. The lack of any sort of external force with us was very, very obvious. Disappointing, but I had an idea I wanted to follow up with. I turned to my friend Kevin and asked him, "Do you want to try doing it solo?" It worked for me. Kevin was confused, but he decided to give it a try. We all backed up to give him some space with the Ouija board. He placed his hand on the planchette and repeated my question. "Where are you from?" His expression changed to shock as his hand started moving with the planchette. He turned to all of us and mouthed, "I'm not doing this." To which I excitedly mouthed back, "I know." I pulled out a notepad and recorded the answer as the planchette went from letter to letter. I recorded the following. Not important. Love it. A spirit with some sass. I asked Kev to back up for a second as I approached the Ouija board, prepped for one final solo question. I asked, "Why are you only responding when it's one of us using the board?" Yet again, the planchette moved effortlessly with my hand. It was faster this time, so I said the letters out loud and had another one of my friends, Eleonora, transcribe onto my notepad. The answer was one at a time. Fair enough. I thanked the spirit, my hand still on the planchette. "I appreciate your answers, friend." To my surprise, and a strange synergy between me and the spirit, I felt compelled to move the planchette again. It was the fastest it had ever been at this time, as it covered the following letters. Tell everyone else to leave. Huh. My friends looked at me skeptically as I said the letters one at a time. "Are you sure you didn't just force that on purpose?" asked Eleonora. I assured her I definitely didn't. That was definitely from the spirit. At this point, this had been the most clearly supernatural phenomena I'd ever experienced in my life, and I was excited to keep it going. My friends, usually unflinching and made of ice, were a little bit thrown. Eleonora and Martin looked ever so slightly spooked, but Kev was willing to go with it. Might as well see where this goes, Kev said as he started climbing down from the treehouse. With a slight bit of hesitation, Eleonora and Martin followed suit. Sweet, an actually creepy night. I embraced the quiet amidst the lighting of the candles and the power of the Ouija board. I geared up for my next question. I wasn't going to hold back. Spirit, how will I die? I took in a deep breath, waiting for some movement. Slowly. Depends. Interesting answer, if not a bit underwhelming. I geared up for my follow-up. Oh, come on, Spirit. What about something a bit more specific? My hand moved with the planchette to the following letters. I tried hard to focus and connect the letters since I didn't have anyone to transcribe with me. What is your name? Weird. Completely dodged my question and asked me my name. Okay, all-knowing spirit. I assumed you'd already know that. I decided to try tricking it. My name is Belle. Movement from the planchette to the Ouija board. It took me to the letters. Do not lie. Well played, spirit. I gave the spirit my actual name, Jennifer, and continued to see the follow-up response. What is your favorite food? Honoring the spirit's rules, I opted to tell the truth instead of following up with another lie. Your girl loves donair, and the spirit deserves to know that. The Ouija board's response. Correct. Before I could take in the affirmation from the spirit, who is asking who questions here, spirit? It followed up with yet another question. What is your biggest fear? Do not lie. This question took me aback a bit. I wasn't really afraid of anything, or so I thought. So I struggled with it. It took me a few moments. I really thought of it. I kind of cringed at the answer, but it was my truth. Something horrible happening to my little brother. No movement from the Ouija board. Seconds turned into minutes as I kept my hand awkwardly placed on the planchette. Then finally, thank you. Send Eleonora. Well, I obliged. I thanked the spirit for its time and decided to climb down for the treehouse, where my friends were waiting. I passed on the spirit's message and told Eleonora that it was her turn. That's the end of part 1. If you liked that video, then like the video. If you're going to bed soon, sweet dreams. And if you have a full day ahead of you, I hope it goes well. Thank you for taking your time to spend on watching one of my videos on my channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.